The night was silent except for the sound of rain hitting the glass dome above the apartment. Lara sat near the window, staring at the neon lights of the city below. Her roommate lay on the couch, motionless, eyes glowing faint blue. She was not human, though she looked close enough to pass in dim light. Her name was Elira, and she came from a world where emotion was a disease. Lara had met her through the exchange program between Earth and the Alliance colonies, a project meant to improve understanding between species. Neither of them expected it to turn into something deeper. When the lockdown began, the city fell into stillness. Everyone was told to stay indoors. Supplies were delivered through drones, and nobody dared to step out. The two women had been living together for weeks in the small apartment, learning each other's ways. Lara cooked and cleaned, while Elira studied human behavior from holas and books. It was peaceful until the day Elira changed. Lara noticed it first when Elira's skin shimmered faintly. She had never seen that before. Her voice grew softer, almost trembling. Her breathing quickened, though she didn't need to breathe as often as humans did. Lara asked if she was sick, but Elira only turned away and said it was a natural cycle for her kind. She didn't explain further. As hours passed, the air grew warmer, filled with tension that Lara couldn't understand. By evening, the lockdown sirens echoed again outside. The doors sealed automatically. They couldn't leave even if they wanted to. Elira paced the room, her steps light but restless. She seemed lost in her own body, fighting something deep inside. Lara offered her water and a blanket, but Elira didn't answer. She just looked at her with those bright blue eyes, almost glowing in the dim light. Lara tried to distract herself, reading or watching old Earth films, but she could feel Elira's presence behind her like a silent storm waiting to break. She had seen humans panic before, but this was different. It was like Elira was holding back something that would destroy her if released. Then suddenly she spoke in a trembling voice. She said that her kind went through cycles where instincts overpowered logic. It was something they called heat, and it came only once in a lifetime for most. It was not just a physical change. It was emotional, uncontrollable, and dangerous if resisted. Lara didn't know what to say. She wasn't afraid, only confused. She asked if there was anything she could do to help. Elira looked away, her voice cracking as she said no one could help, that she should have been alone. But it was too late now. The lockdown kept them trapped together, and there was no one else to turn to. The night stretched endlessly. The hum of the power grid filled the silence. Lara tried to sleep but couldn't. Every sound felt louder, sharper. Elira stood by the window, staring at the rain. Her skin glowed faintly silver now, veins of light running beneath it. She whispered something in her native tongue, a sound like music and sorrow. Lara could feel the emotion in it, even without understanding the words. By dawn, Elira was sitting on the floor, shaking. Lara went to her side without thinking. She placed a hand on Elira's shoulder. The alien girl flinched, then slowly turned her head. For the first time, Lara saw fear in her eyes. She said she didn't want to hurt anyone, but her instincts were stronger than she imagined. Lara told her she wasn't afraid. She spoke gently, reminding her that she was not alone, that she was safe here. Something in those words reached Elira, breaking the invisible wall she had kept between them. Time passed slowly after that. The heat of the cycle faded as the day went on. Elira's trembling stopped, and she leaned against Lara, exhausted. The two sat in silence as the rain slowed outside. The city lights began to fade into morning. For a long moment, neither spoke. It was peace again, though both knew something had changed between them. Weeks later, the lockdown lifted. The world outside moved on as if nothing had happened. But in that small apartment, everything was different. Elira no longer hid her emotions. She smiled now, softly, uncertainly, but real. Lara saw her not as an alien or a guest, but as something more, a friend. Perhaps something deeper that neither of them dared to name. In the end, when Elira received orders to return to her world, she hesitated. She stood at the doorway, holding the small plant Lara had given her as a gift. She said humans were strange, fragile, and yet stronger than they appeared. Lara only smiled and said the same could be said about her. As the shuttle lights faded in the sky, Lara stood by the window again, watching the city below. She wondered if somewhere out there among the stars, Alira was thinking of her too, and for the first time since the lockdown began, Lara felt something. New inside her, a warmth that wasn't loneliness anymore, but something alive, something that even the silence of the universe couldn't take away.